All right, folks. Hey, welcome back. Tuesday afternoon, August 26th. Let me get my own audio adjusted. I believe that we're here inside our live trading. Just give me the green light if you're able to hear me loud and clear. I was here this before. Phil, Manny, Genevieve, Wayne, Leda, Rich, Roberto. Almost here. Perfect. All right, there we go. Give me a quick moment here. Let me just get myself situated. Otherwise, if you're joining us on Facebook Live, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, etc., popping up probably on the lower left. About 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, right there, down below, lower left at Cyber Trading U. If you're new to our channel, platform, stream, etc., just hit the follow and subscribe button down below. You'll be good to go. And with that in mind, we've had a decent day today for what it's worth. Normally for a dog day, a summer type day, late August, and certainly pre-holiday type day here, day before or days before Labor Day, at least here coming up next Monday. Markets are going to be closed coming up next Monday, right? So, families taking their last chance to go on vacation with their kids. I know that from experience. My brother-in-law is a CFA, and he's coming back from Paris actually later on this evening with my sister and my nieces. So with that in mind, there's plenty of other families out there that are doing their own thing, taking some time off before school starts or, going into the fall season. And with that, things normally should be slow. Well, normally, right? Even in a down market, us here inside our live trading room, we're able to find just nonstop opportunities. News coming out. There's always some stock making a pop. There's always some sector that gets a little hot here and there. No pun intended with it being late August. But with that said, RR, not a pirate stock here. This is a robotics AI company, Rich Tech Robotics. Nice push up just before. It's got a great order book, great spread. It's obviously 100% tradable. You know what? Just really quickly, because if you're a student of mine inside the Phase 1 stock course that we teach here, let me see if I could do this fast, because I would normally just quickly say this is a category 1, maybe a category 2 type of stock, which means it's tradable for pretty much every one of us. But I just want to show this. Let's say I don't really use this when I trade. I just only show it during like class or this exact practice here. But over the last hour, last 30 or so minutes, this stock's been trading about 4.5 pennies per minute. Okay, so that's probably more of like a category 2 maybe, but it's still very tradable, very safe, lower risk to follow. It's moved up a lot already today, but don't get me wrong, there could be room for more. I'm not even going to check the news, quite frankly, here between you and myself. I'm a little verklempt here with my setup, so I'm going to try and just be efficient, just pump out this watch list as quickly as we can. We're about to go from top to bottom here in just a bit, scan the gainers and losers side in just a moment. So yeah, the RR trade, I'll just put on our list to start. And also, while I'm at it, let's go through the top right. If you see on my screen here, my position manager. So these are the 2 trades that I've been on top of today mainly. One of them is actually just a trade that one of my students had brought to my attention. They were kind of trapped in on for a little bit. They still are, but we're seeing a nice recovery this week, and it actually prompted me to jump into it as a swing trade. So even from yesterday, I took my stab on this trade, the LIDR stock. And now finally it popped back up. It held over support really well, 320, 315-ish, right? And just miraculously, I kind of came back from a lunch. I'm up in New York. I visited a friend of mine just right around town where my sister's at, a 5-minute drive. But I came back. I'm like, ooh, this thing just popped pretty nice for me here, right? Nice gift. Now the question is, can we see resistance flip into support? So it's only up 1%. It's not up like 5, 6, 10, 20%. I'm not going to put this on our main special list, but just wanted to show you this trade at least. And then otherwise, this stock, I am going to put on our list. Very VERI. And where's my guy Kevin here? Kevin and I have been killing it on this trade in our, from our coaching session earlier today. Right off this iceberg, just retesting. This fell into our lap. It was perfect timing. Couldn't have been any, sweeter and any better of an entry. Now, it's easy to say that in hindsight, but it's also kind of easy to follow strategy here, right? This also is a pretty safe stock. The stock is also probably more category 1, category 2, probably even more on the 1 side now. Probably moving a little slower even than the RR stock. But you know what? For right now, I have no problem just adding this to our list for the afternoon. Myself and Kevin, we had a nice target on this trade, little over $3, right around 320-ish, 325 would have been nice. And then maybe even higher. So, we'll see if this has enough legs to at least pop back up before the end of the day. All right, so that at least makes 2 trades so far that we'll add the RR, and then we got the very trade. Oh, real quick. Oh, geez, I messed up. If you're on social media, give me a sec. Screen not sharing. Just realizing that right now. Better now than ever, right? Give me a moment. If you're on social media, at least, if you're inside our live trading room, well, quite frankly, I take care of you first. And be transparent here. I'm not going to lie about that. For Grant, Kathleen, and all of our students here, I take care of you first. But yeah, I just realized I messed up there on the YouTubes. You should be good to go right now on YouTube, Facebook Live, etc. There we go. All right, now with that said, let me just recap briefly. This stock, VERI, we need this to pop back up again, but it's been a great trade from earlier from our coaching session, myself and one of our students. And then the RR stock, I'll just put this on our watch list as well. I'm not in this trade right now personally, but obviously it's looking really strong. All right, now we got everybody here, YouTube, Facebook Live, etc. Obviously inside our live trading room. Well, you've had me. But let's go from top to bottom here now, see what we could build up for this afternoon's list. So the IVVD, this thing is still just kind of sticking here. This thing's like glue. It's just kind of stuck. And I guess that's fine. But when you include the pre-market, post-market activity from last night into today, yeah, it's not that great. It's kind of near the regular session highs, but it has a lot of ground to cover here to try and get back up to 150 again. So for a stock trading this much volume already, I'd rather pass. Let it prove itself to us. Same thing with ALLR, right? I told one of our students, Roberto, earlier today here, and we were looking for resistance right around 228, 230. And I don't mind missing out on part of the trade if there's better conviction off a higher price. And just to say, it never even came close, just lower highs, came back down. It certainly didn't prove itself to us, right? So we just kind of move on from there. All right, the SATS, the HKPD, a lot of these trades just kind of washed up now at this point. VSME, kind of holding here, just not really worth it though just yet, I feel. Same with LWLG, nice little push earlier today. This actually does have a decent order book. I like that part at least, but I don't like the trend. There is no trend, at least over the last couple of hours. There is more trend on this up trade than the last one. So UP up, living up to its namesake at least, higher or low, pushing back up, technically, I guess now over 3, but let it try and pop over this local resistance here around 305. But you know what? Another stock. I mean, it's just really tradable. I have no problem adding the stock for right now. We got a great list so far, though. All right, PAC, ASST. Let me go back the ASST trade, and then we'll go to Nuke. But ASST at least pop drop yesterday, pop drop earlier today. The more it's still kind of building the higher lows here, you feel like eventually this will have its real move. That's speculation. That's not guarantee. And again, very similar. I sound like a broken record player right now, but actually, I sound like one of those like drawstring dolls, right? I always compare myself to one of those, Toy Story, Woody or Buzz Lightyear dolls. You pull the string from the back, you say the same 5 or 4 catchphrases over and over. Well, hey, let it prove itself to us, right? So, you know what? Right now, I'll pass on it. I wouldn't have a problem calling this out later on, though. I would probably have a problem if someone called out Nuke later on today, quite frankly. Moved up so well earlier, but, even a couple of our students earlier in the afternoon, I was telling them, even if we're calling it out, it's a category 5. So if you don't feel comfortable trading it, if you find this is too volatile for you, then simply move on to other stocks. But a couple of things. We called it out because if this can make even a fraction of the type of move it made here back, at the end of last year, we'll take it. I guess you could say this is a fraction of a move, but obviously we wanted more. But you know what happened afterwards, though, right? You know what happened at the end of last year when this came back down. So, history is going to repeat itself on both sides of the coin. Well, came all the way back down. Game over. This reminds me of the trade I barely survived earlier this morning. I actually forgot about this. Had a couple other trades since, but PMEC, oh my God, this thing's down 18% now. It was up God knows how much early this morning at 8:30 in the morning here. Came up, came back down, couldn't hold over the level I was calling out. And if it breaks below it, well, that should hold as resistance, right? And look what happened after. So the Nuke trade, it wouldn't shock me if this thing goes negative. Right? If it could happen to one, it could happen to the other. AIFF, kind of just, keep moving on now at this stage, obviously. SMTC, this is not an ETF. I don't know if this is like an SMCI ETF or something. I'll pass. This U stock, wow, this made a great pop earlier and, it came back down a lot. So I wouldn't be normally as inclined to put this on our list unless if it was closer to the high, closer up to 13 here. This, though, has a pretty exceptional long-term graph, right? Breaking above multi-year highs even since 2021, let alone, before that. This is not all-time highs, but it's a really nice moving stock. And even if it's not going to go back up to 13 today, is it possible it could just still be a lively day trade? Yeah. So I wouldn't mind adding that to the end of the list at the end, but let's see what else we got, though. I mean, the HSAI stock, where the hell did this come from? $26 per share. That's fine. It's not too expensive. It does have a pretty thin book, and it does have considering how thin the book is, this is a huge iceberg order. 13,000 shares, considering everything else is tiny, but right at 26.50. You know what? It's interesting. I don't mind putting this on our list just at the bottom for right now, though. The HSAI. All right, cool. LEU, CCLD. That's actually not half bad. NEO's looking really good, not even half bad. So I wanted to see this dip into 650 earlier. There was some good confluence between 650, VWAP just held higher, didn't get the entry I wanted, but kind of slow moving stock either way. But the fact it's going back up to the high of the day now, so definitely add the NEO stock for right now here. Let me go back to our list though, because you got NEO, you got XPEV, XPEV. It's like up 5%, but not doing as much. The lead trades up 2%, not doing as much. But, the NEO, the NIO seems to be the best out of those Chinese EV-based companies. HIMZ, which means HIMS, is up about 5%. Yeah, it definitely doesn't hurt to add HIMS, 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 and HERS Health to our list for right now. Let me just see what else is looking even better. Just kind of cherry pick at this point. We've already built up a good enough list. We don't even need to add anything else. We're not at a necessity. So that's where I say, just don't overwhelm yourself with so much out there. UPXI. I mean, hey, this actually looks pretty good, except for the order book. It's pretty liquid on the sell side here. A lot of people trying to get out, not as many people trying to proactively support the stock on the bid. ULCC. I keep forgetting that's Frontier. Jumia, my speech impediment there. SRFM, kind of lackluster. There's a lot of stocks that are still at least up, 5%, let alone 10%. So, got to do our DD here. Got to do our due diligence. Caramel, CRML, just up and down now at this point. All right, let's hop over to the loser side here. There's probably a couple I may just kind of slip on our watch list at the end that we just talked about briefly. But let's see what else we have on the loser side for right now. And again, if you're Michael, Lynn, and Randy, Roberto, Brad, Grant, Wayne, Leda, just any of our students inside our room, let me know if there's anything you'd want me to check out before we call it. But a lot of these stocks you can't really short. So, I'm just going through it really quick. RCAT maybe. Hard to borrow, but I check the intraday short locate app. You probably should be able to get shares. My guess is that you should be able to get shares to short this RCAT. The only issue, though, with the RCAT is that it actually is still pretty healthy of a long-term chart. It's not making higher highs for a little while here, but it's still making higher lows. Definitely not making lower lows too much yet. I mean, if it wants to start doing it, then let it start today, right? I don't mind slipping it on our list. More is a short first, and then from there, if it fails to break lower, then perhaps you get your squeeze back up. I mean, at this point, though, I'll tell you what, we're already near 5%. So let me just check the market here. Is the market flying high again here right now? The SPY? Yeah, I mean, we're at least making a small recovery, filled the gap, and then some from yesterday. All right. Well, I'll tell you what, right back to the gainer side here, folks. And I'll check out our trading room right now from Roberto Rigetti. Yeah, it's up 5+%. So, it's looking like a really good chart. I'm just going to kind of cherry pick everything that we got here so far. FEBO, I guess it's popping right now, right? So if I were to rerun this, actually I just did. This is white, not orange like it normally is, so I wouldn't have been able to tell otherwise. But yeah, FEBO looks like it's a new ticker that joined my scanner since the last time I ran it. Yeah, I got to add it. It's up a lot. It's not like we only look for the inexpensive stocks, but this thing blasted over $1 just now, blasted over the high of the day previously here at like 110, 112. So if you lay over that at the minimum, let alone $1, and then bounce back up, there could be a trade. There could be something there at least. So I'll add it for now. We'll see what we could do with it. That Rigetti trade I could add there, Roberto. Let me just keep going through else, see what else we got though otherwise. The SATS, yeah, that was a nice short, Mike, that you had earlier today. A little flat right now. Maybe there could be more downside room. Listen, this thing's up a lot from the news that came out. Really nice news that came out on the stock, but to warrant for it to pop up 86 or 90% it was earlier today. Yeah, nice opportunity on the downside there perhaps, but for right now, let's see if there's anything looking even better as a long on the way up. I don't know why that keeps popping up on my screen. 1 second. The Neo trade, I think we already have on our list there, Roberto. That one looking good. Let me hop over to Benzinga Pro here, see what we got. VSME. There's the FEBO. I saw that there just before. Tesla, I saw creeping back up a little bit there. Not doing like anything special, but kind of creeping up. Like now, a little over positive, from earlier. It was negative to begin the day. So, if you follow Tesla yourself, then I'm sure that you could put this on your personal list. The VSME's garbage. I'm not going to put this on our watch list. All right, folks, I'll tell you what was the last couple that we had here from the gainer side? We said we'd come back to, right? I think there was a couple we said we'd come back to. Let me just kind of skim through this here at the end. The UUUU is definitely one. It was a lively day trade, good order book, not expensive by any stretch of the imagination. It's not really near the high, so I normally would not be putting a stock like this on our watch list, but it goes to show how tradable it is, so why not? And then otherwise, folks, I think that just about wraps it up. The Rigetti trade, Roberto, you're really liking that Rigetti trade, huh? Let's see. You know what? It's one that we like, collectively as a team. I'm just kind of busting Roberto's chops there. So, yeah, I mean, this is up a decent amount. The thing on this stock, though, is that we were looking for this back in the beginning of this month to fill the gap, and it tried to actually almost got all the way up there. This was all but a complete gap fill. Almost moved up to the closing price back on this candle right here. I mean, got really close, then came back down. So I would kind of just say objective complete there. If you want to put this on your personal list, if you're already in, I'm rooting you on. You know that, Roberto. But for right now, we've seen this do better. We've seen this make a more special move for us, right? So, in the sense of just not putting too much on our list, I'll kind of pass. But again, if you're already in from 15, you're probably doing really nicely. And plus, it's tradable. So. All right, folks. Hey, that will wrap it up, at least for here right now. If you're on social media, on a recording, or with us live, either way here, just feel free to join us on YouTube each and every morning, each and every afternoon down below at Cyber Trading U. Hit that follow, hit that subscribe button down there. I'll stutter less at least. But otherwise, feel free to join us inside our live trading room. Go right down to the link on the banner below in blue. A lot of alliteration as I'm speaking, at least there. But ctu.co/trial. Look forward to having you join us at least, whether it be tomorrow or next week. Either way, we're here for you. And then for all of our students there with us right now, I'll be back on the mic, at least taking you into the close. Give me about 15 or so minutes. Catch my breath. But we'll be good to go at least shortly after 3 p.m. Eastern. And we'll see if there's even more opportunity out there from this point. But, as I always say, start and stick with our list, and then